right, good morning, everybody. Wes Morneau, Interim County Administrator. We're here today to talk about ATU 1395, the operational unit, and some proposed wage adjustments. And we are prepared to push this across the table and take your feedback. Before we get started, we'll go around the room and let everybody introduce themselves for the recording.
Don Seitz, Scabie County Director of Waste Services.
Nikki Powell, Labor Relations Manager.
Jamie Higdon, Public Works Director.
Crystal Dura, HR Director.
Curtis Howard, ATU International Vice President.
Mike Laurie, ATU 1395.
Aaron Benz, Shop Steward.
Tim Jones, Shop Steward.
So as y'all know, we've had quite a bit of difficulty hiring any position that requires a commercial driver's license. So we've met together and strategized and tried to come up with a proposal that would increase the starting salary for CDL drivers within Public Works and Solid Waste. And this proposal would address those, not everybody in the unit, but the CDL holders. And in order to do that, we are unfunding 8 positions to be able to pay for it. And so what you have in front of you, that's kind of where we're at, what we're offering.
Now, help me, you said unfunded 8 positions?
We'll be unfunding 8, the equipment operator 2 positions. We have 23 that are vacant. And as things move forward and we're able to fill, we can look at the funding, work with Steph in their budget, and we can look at the funding at that point in time. But in order to pay for this particular increase, that's what we're proposing.
Okay. So I have to address something, and this proposal has already been out to the workers. West, don't know, I'm new, I just got in town yesterday. I find out that this exact same proposal that you gave to us was given to certain employees and then later on issued out and put in the workplace.
I shared it with my managers and supervisors. I'm sure probably there's no secrets, especially at the road department, for sure, or anywhere else in the county. I don't see that personally myself as an issue. We're trying to be transparent with what we're bringing forward. So,
But the only problem with that, Wes, is the law says that when it's a collective bargaining agreement, we're the exclusive right to that. And so that's directly dealing and having a conversation with workers. It puts us at a disadvantage at the table. And then the rumor that came along with it was Mike's gonna turn it down. So it causes problems, and legally, once it's discussed with us, it's different than going out prior to. This went out prior to. So that's a problem legally. So
Okay.
I think we work well together, the people in this room.
Absolutely.
However, my concern is always Kirsten, if I'm saying the name right this time, Kirsten. She would beat us up if we did that.
I understand.
Right? She'd be filing something.
I understand, Curtis. I do.
Right,
And
so
so I apologize.
I
They
have to
got
put-
out ahead of you.
I have to put on the record, I'm asking respectfully next time that
Absolutely.
you
I
do
hear
it,
I
you
hear
do
where
it
you're at.
different.
I hear where you're at.
And the other part of it is, the rumor that I got and that we got is that this was gonna be put on the table, but there was also gonna be put on a proposal on, and we will definitely take this one if it's put on the table, that 15 to 16% changes for most starting rates. And then it would be 4% in October for everybody and 3 additional percents for every 5 years. And I don't see that every 5
I don't know
years.
where that rumor came from.
Well, the other one was pretty good. I thought that this one would be pretty good.
I don't know where the numbers you just threw out, I don't know where those came from.
To be honest with you, it came from the same management staff that put this out.
I can tell you that this is the best that I could do at this point in time. I've told you how I'm gonna pay for it. Yeah, we planning 4% in the budget for October. We are trying to get there. we're working hard to get there. We understand the price of gas, the price of groceries, the price of everything else going up. I think we've been very successful this fiscal year in raising wages, and it's been a significant impact to the personnel budget across the county. So we are working, we have about 73 to 76 right now positions that we're looking to unfund in departments across the county to kind of level things out a little bit. I think the board's been extremely generous and very supportive of wage increases and realizing where we're at recruitment-wise. So this is just another effort. We see a problem. 50-something people down in public works. You have to try to take some sort of action, and this is the strategy that we have that we're putting across the table.
And I think from our last negotiations and what's in front of us today, and what I think the county's been doing a good job of myself is never a right or wrong way to do something. It's just how you get there. The union's doesn't have any problems with what's going on. There was only one thing that I want to bring to your attention. I don't know if we'll resolve it here, but some of the concern is that the county is doing the right thing. Some of the workers that have been there for a while are feeling like people, I believe it was operator 3 and 4, are getting an increase here from this. And it's because they had a chance to look at this, they had a chance to come back and say something to us. That people are getting, that's been here like less than 3 years, are shooting up really quick, and they're not as efficient on doing the job, performing the job. And then the guys that have been here for a while are not moving up as quick and as much, So there is some imbalance in the field, I think, is going on, at least as far as, people morale. But that is a concern from the 3s and 4s moving up so fast for less than 3 years, but they can't do the job. The older guys have to come in and show them and help them perform the job. So that's something just to consider and manage.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can talk to that a little bit. Certainly our pool is skill set is not as strong as it was at one point in time, especially when you have so many vacancies. The other thing that plays into that is, back in the day when Randy Oliver was here, promotions were 10%. He cut that to 5%. We just now are able to get that back to 10%. So there are folks that got promoted who only got 5%. And it's not just the road department, it's like that all the way throughout the organization. And so, and the same thing when we cut it back to 5%, there were people this week that got promoted and got 10%. There were people got promoted this week, they got 5%. It's not perfect. So it's the same scenario going forward. When we increased it back to 10%, which I think is where it needs to be, there were people that previously promoted got 5, and now the new folks or folks that promote up now are getting 10. And so that's some of what's caused some of the concern, I believe, in that regard. It is, like I said, it's not perfect. It is like that throughout the county. It's like throughout I can go to every department, and there's that same scenario in the organization. How do you fix it? I'm not sure that we have a perfect fix for it at the moment. Right now, our main concentration has been on wages, entry-level wages, retainment, and recruitment, and that's been our focus.
Okay. Well, it's my job to bring it up.
Sure, absolutely.
We represent the people, and sometimes we're court representing the people, and we're representing both sides. So it's not an easy position to carry.
Absolutely, I understand fully.
But we're for all the workers, we're not just for one group and one classification of workers.
Sure.
All right, so as far as this is concerned, we'll need to take a caucus on it. So you're saying that the additional 3% for every 5 years of service is not?
That's not in here. That's not part of this proposal. I don't even know where that came from.
Same management to put it through.
Well, All I can tell you is it didn't come from me.
And I'm gonna share this with you. Wes.
3%'s not on the new pay scale, so that wouldn't have come from any admin.
Okay. And once again, Nikki, I don't know, I'm just walking into it and that's what they hear in the field.
Hey, I was totally reorganized one time. I didn't even know about it. I walked into the office and, yeah, man, you're doing here, and then this person's doing this doing that. So
So let me ask you a question.
where'd it come from?
Wes, so I heard you,
I'm curious of how somebody outside the bargaining unit was given this to give us comments on.
and then you put it to
And then he
No.
passed it out as well.
Curtis, all I can tell you is you got out there. I apologize, I got out ahead of time.
Yeah, I
We
just
tried to get the mic as quick as we could, and as soon as we finalized it, and, it is what it is. We are where we are.
Yeah, but a manager should know that Steve Livens is not in the bargaining unit, so why would he give it to
I
him?
would agree. He's not in the bargaining.
So why would he
has
be
no-
passing
he has
it out?
No bite at the table.
So,
I definitely ask that people that are outside the bargaining unit do not get provided information from your management staff. I mean, it causes, and I don't work here, so I hear from the rank and file members, it causes a lot of division and conversation that's probably not even worth being on your property.
I got you. Mike, you were gonna say something?
so I heard you say that you're working to get to 4%, and that would be a 4%. That would be, I guess, for all existing employees, correct?
Correct.
And it would be like for October 1st, is what you're shooting for.
Yep.
Have you run that 4% and see with this new pay scale? Have you run, if you give a 4%, what it does in compression? Have you looked at that and seen that what it does? How, do you have those numbers to show us?
I have not run that particular line.
You know what I'm saying, right? So I could see that an employee that's been here that has such and such wage and is above your existing new starting rate, right? Or did that person just get a little slight raise because you raised it for, you raised the new starting rate, and then they're gonna get a 4%. I was trying to see the numbers. So, okay. I just wanna see if we're compressing a lot, because I would hope the one thing you wouldn't wanna do is, yes, your focus is hiring people in, I get that. I know every department, you're trying to get new people in.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't have a job fair and things like that if you wouldn't do that, right?
Yep.
But,
You did very well at that, though.
oh, thank you. I hope I attracted a few people. But I am concerned that existing employees
Yep.
are gonna get distracted and upset and gonna feel like, well, geez, I guess I'm not that important. So maybe I'll start looking in the private sector, and they leave because of that.
Right. I hear you. And part of this strategy, we're talking about these particular positions today because they're union positions, but, when you do these types of things and as you figure, we were at 1249, and now we jumped to 1625, and now we're proposing 1881. Things above that also have to adjust. We
Right.
almost have to start at the top,
Right.
adjust, and adjust. So that is part of our discussion as far as the positions above this, so that we don't, or we try to minimize as much compression.
So is a
Yes,
wage,
we
is it considered the wage reopener still open? It's.
I don't consider this a wage reopener.
Oh,
I don't think. I'm just a proposal, trying to do my best to be able to recruit, and in that realm, we will continue to have to adjust so that we minimize the compression.
okay, so you're saying the wage reopener that's under the contract is still to come?
Yes.
That's clarification here. It
And,
helps us understand what he's trying to
and I just wanna make sure I'm clear. The 4% in October will be on top of this, if it goes through.
Here it goes.
Alright, so, quick question before we go into our caucus. I know the custodial workers you just left flat.
Anybody that is not required to have a commercial driver's license.
Alright, and
That
so-
seems to be our biggest struggle. I know it's a struggle with ECAT as well. And
all over the country.
it's all the way, I saw a cartoon yesterday that says I may not have a PhD, but I have a CDL.
In this day and age, CDL's more
CDL's
valuable, bro.
It is more valuable. If you have a CDL, you take care of it, man, you got an income for life, you know,
Right.
it is what it is. And a good one at that.
Right.
So,
So the fuel distribution assistant is a non-CDL as well?
yeah,
Okay, I just wanted to know, because I wasn't sure, so, okay.
yep.
Now, if he moves up, he has to have it. That position that require.
And the mosquito control tech is not a CDL.
Right.
Okay. So we gotta get them to have CDLs then.
Well, talk about recruitment.
They get CDL, they're gonna be driving equipment and dump
Yeah.
trucks. They ain't gonna be spraying mosquitoes, I can tell you that.
I was thinking there's a lot of mosquitoes in the summertime.
Tell you what, whew.
Yeah, don't tell them, I hope, oh, it's already recorded, they're gonna kill me.
So do we want to take a caucus? real
Yes,
quick?
please,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're back.
All right. So Wes, we have a few comments, but as far as the proposal, we accept your proposal as is. Of course, it does alter the labor agreement, so we have to take a vote, with our membership, and of course, we'll work that out and communicate that with you and your staff.
Okay.
But we did want to make sure that, we did say on the record that, you know, the wage reopener, since you said this wasn't part of it, we just would like to make sure that we meet with you prior to the October and going to the board.
Sure, absolutely.
So we appreciate it, and we think that the county's moving in the right direction, so we appreciate it.
All right, good.
Mike has something he would like to say.
So yeah, so the, obviously this is Appendix E, so it has to be voted on. And if you could release, like you did last time, allowing employees to show up to the hall to cast their votes, that'd be helpful to allow the employees to do that. And we'll let you know what date we set to do that.
Okay.
But I asked the earlier question about, you know, the wage reopener. I wanted to, when you said, you caught my attention as soon as you said that, okay? And it's because compression is something I am concerned about, you
Sure.
know?
Absolutely.
And I would hope, while hearing the number 4%, I'm kind of going, okay, that sounds nice, right? I just am concerned when we actually put all the numbers in and we look at people's wages and their years of service. So hopefully you all are doing the same thing, and when I'm looking at them and we say, maybe we look at certain classifications and we say, oh, this is impacting that classification a little bit more than others, and we see compression in there. Hopefully maybe that will be something you all look at when we move towards the wage reopener as well. I'm not saying doing all at once,
Sure.
but I'm saying, you know, you're moving in the right direction, and we want to not, you know, I'm worried about retaining. And
Absolutely.
you know, I always, being a 27-year employee, I worry about employees when they give their years of service. You know, nothing against bringing in someone at a good wage. I want that as well.
Yep.
I just don't want, I hear it from workers that they're concerned.
No,
I've been, and you know that.
I
You
agree.
ran that department for so long, you know,
I-
guys are proud of their time in service and their skill level.
We've come a long ways, especially in public works. And when I started, it was $5.07 an hour to work the labor truck. And so I've seen a lot of change through the years. Moving in this fiscal year, stepping into this role where I can affect more change and kind of have the freedom and have the backing of the board to affect some change. We've done it throughout the organization. I want to continue to do it and make things better. Wages are a big thing, and you know we stayed static for so many years. $12.49 an hour, less than a year ago.
Right.
And when I first went back out the roads at $12.49 an hour, they were lined up at the gate trying to get in the door. Pandemic, post-pandemic, and the economy being what it is, it's just not like that.
Right. They have other options.
have other options, and, you know, when you require a skill set or a credential like the commercial driver's license, well, that's worth something.
Well, that was my next thing I was just mentioning to you, is you mentioned CDL. I know you're trying to put a program together, and is how close, last time I talked to you, you were getting, August was the date you were looking
Yeah,
at?
August, I'll let Jamie.
August is still on key. PSC's got the facility out of the ground. I see no reason why they won't be completed by August. And we've already got some of the training materials in, and we've got all of our new people trying to get their permit. So when August gets here, we can transition right into class. PSC is willing to do anything we want them to do. They'll block us spots. They'll do just testing. They'll do a crash course and then testing. They'll do a week-long program, or we can go the full 6-week program that they have.
So you're gonna be able to hire someone in with just a permit, and then put them
Not
through-
on our entry level.
Oh,
Only
okay,
on our
that's
entry
what I was
level.
trying to understand what you were saying.
No, they're gonna have to be entry level.
Entry level.
At least, Mike, we got an option. If we bring somebody in entry level, they can
Go off to
get
the
their,
course.
go get their CDL,
And
and then
get
they can move up. Because a lot of them, may have a particular skill set, they don't have a CDL.
Right.
It's like our mechanics. I haven't had really a qualified applicant in 37 months
Wow.
because they don't have the CDL. They either mechanic or they got one or both. They don't have the qualifications. So if I could bring them in as a fleet maintenance worker and provide them access to get their CDL, they already have the skill set, and then they can move up.
That's what we do in transportation.
Yeah, that's,
So we
so,
have in-house trainers basically, and it helps move them along.
so it's,
And we're
it's
tiny
it's gonna be for an A
A or B,
or B?
or if you have a B, you can transition to get your A.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna, okay.
I mean, we've been working on this a long time, and they're willing to do whatever program we need, they're willing to fill it.
And I'm an outsider. Do they have the vehicles as well?
Yes, it is a standalone facility, Curtis, where you can just go in and enroll. And their initial program, they got a lot of Triumph funding, and they tied it to college credit, which give them a lot of state grant breaks. For $2,500, you can go enroll in the class from I know nothing. Just go enroll in the class. It's 6 weeks. They transition you through, guarantee you to pass your CDL, and you end up getting 2 college hour credits. Even doing that, that's how they did it.
Cool.
But they're
So is that where Nikki comes in when she's moving through the community trying to get people to go for this, right? To go out and get their CDL and understanding that a career is right behind it. Is that what
Yep.
your job, that's part of your job?
Part of it.
well, it gives us another tool
Yeah.
that we can use
Yeah.
to attract somebody in here. And then if we bring you in, and we'll say, well, you got to stay with us a year or 2 years or whatever it ends up being. But it's just an option we have.
I'm just amazed at the people that have such difficulties getting CDL, because maybe it was too easy for me. I don't know, I'm just like, wow.
Well, I carry a Class A that
Yeah.
I've had, but when I started, it was just the old chauffeur's license.
Oh, we go way back.
And so,
You lost me there. I was with you for a moment. Then you said that, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
man,
you went
so-
way back. Now I got why you
So
still
when
got
they
Class
moved
A.
to CDL,
Yeah.
all we had to do at that time was take a written test.
Mhm.
So I just took the written test for a Class A, and I've carried one ever since.
That was in '92. One man, Senator John Danforth's the reason we have CDLs. Did y'all know that?
Nope. I was still in elementary
You
school.
said 92?
92.
You were still in elementary school?
I got mine in 94.
I was
That's
out
why
of the US Army.
I did the formula.
And y'all, it's progressed way further than it is now. I mean, you gotta basically know how the truck operates.
Right.
I mean, you walk around.
You gotta do pre-trip,
Yeah.
in order.
Exactly. If you fail that, you're done. You don't ever get to drive.
Right.
So it's
Kind of intense to do the pre-trip.
Well, I'm an electrician by
Brake test.
crap. I've never driven a bus. Of course, I worked for MARTA for 28 years, but I got my CDL through MARTA. And I drive heavy equipment, so that's why I had a Class A as well. And it was required, so there was no B for me. It wasn't an option. You had to get a Class A, but you're right. If you didn't walk around that and know how to do everything and point it out and do all of that, whether it was in-house or not, you didn't have a job.
Nope.
So,
That's right.
yeah, it's important that the employers have it because, when you go to the state to do it, they're a lot more strict.
Yep.
The employer has skin in the game and they want you to do it, so they'll train you an extra hour or two before you actually take the test. So it's a win-win, but when you have to go to DOT for yourself,
It's
it's
bad,
brutal. Yeah,
and it's
brutal.
expensive, you
Yeah.
know, and you take an entry-level employee, you can't afford $1,500 to go
Right.
fail the test.
Right, right.
Do a TA on them?
Sure.
So we appreciate it, man, you know, and it's good to hear that, you know, that, you know, everybody's moving in the right direction.
Yeah,
As I was talking to my team, I hope the infrastructure bill is allowing all the counties, especially this county, to help out on projects that you had to usually budget.
Yep.
So, you know,
Absolutely.
I'm very grateful to the infrastructure
And
bill
Mike,
that should have been out
if
10,
you take it to a
15
vote
years ago.
and they vote, we'll sign an actual MOA.
Well, yeah, I figured that, yeah, gotta do, yeah. You guys don't like to do MOAs, I thought. Or MOUs, or whatever.
MOU, MOA, whatever.
That's what I've been told,
We'll
you guys
have
do.
one.
I think,
There's a new sheriff in town, Mike. Just roll with the new sheriff, okay? Forget all the old stuff. We can't move forward.
this is for, Wes to sign and one comes back to me. Yeah, please make sure that the message back out at the departments is this isn't the end of the way, this is not a wage reopener. It's an adjustment to Appendix E.
I think in the past, we've tried to make that clear for different things that have gone on, that there's still opportunity for a wage reopener.
Yeah. You gotta be real clear with the workers though. You gotta make sure they understand this is not a wage reopener, that's still to come. That's,
And we have run, I can't even tell you how many projections we've run, so we're looking at all of the things that you guys have concerns about, we have concerns about as well. So
Yeah.
it's just.
All right.
All right, thank you. We appreciate
All right,
you.
thank y'all.
Good to meet you as well.
Yeah.